And you are bearish? What? United Senator Ted Cruz says he wants Texas to be a hub for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Then we have Vancouver plans to adopt Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. It's happening. All around the world we go. Senator Lummis says President Trump is assembling in an army to fight for Bitcoin. What's happening? Does it seem like the narrative has just flipped literally overnight? Mara endorses a strategic Bitcoin reserve, saying the nations must move swiftly to secure dominant positions in Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining in America. What's about to happen, guys? Are we about to see an explosion occur? Literally. It seems like this is all coordinated, doesn't it? Listen very carefully. Please like today's video, share, and subscribe. Morocco to legalize Bitcoin and crypto, says central bank chief. Don't you see? But they didn't do this in the bear market. I wonder why. Because they don't want you to get rich. Exactly. If they would have, people would be very happy right now. But they didn't. They're doing it only when euphoria is setting in, guys. Though this is very bullish indeed, guys, right? Even though they're joining the party a little bit late, but it's still okay because it seems as there's still a lot of gains to be made, especially with altcoins. Probably not as much as Bitcoin, but I guess perhaps so. I don't know. Let's talk about it. Because Michael Saylor to meet with $3 trillion Microsoft next month, in the month of December, to discuss investing in Bitcoin. You are not bullish enough. What? Guys, I'm telling you, it seems like we're going to keep accelerating, guys, right? We haven't seen anything yet. Nothing yet has even begun. Because Brazil lawmaker proposes $18 billion Bitcoin sovereign reserve, 180k Bitcoin, guys, right? $18 billion worth of Bitcoin. Wow, this is diabolical. What's happening? From Morocco to Brazil, right? To Vancouver, to Japan. Japanese public company Remix Point announces to buy 500 million yen worth of Bitcoin, guys. Okay. How much is that? It seems like a lot to me, right? Definitely in millions of dollars. I think I'm not even sure. But publicly traded Chinese company SOS plans to purchase up to $50 million worth of Bitcoin. What is happening, right? Look at this. Not only is this isn't tied to a specific country, guys. It's literally tied to, well, every and any country around the world, right? Remember, when Bitcoin goes up, everything else will too. Michael Saylor just announced MicroStrategy has acquired 55,000 Bitcoin for $5.4 billion the other day, guys. What is happening? Right? This is diabolical. So again, it's like a loop, because so you're taking out loans against your Bitcoin holdings in order to buy a lot more Bitcoin, which lowers the supply of Bitcoin, which makes Bitcoin's price go higher, which makes the stock go up, which creates a gap between Bitcoin holdings and the corporate valuation, which makes folks short the stock, which creates a short squeeze, which makes the stock go higher, which makes the gap between holdings and valuation higher and allows more loans against the stock. Innovative. Are there any risks? Well, the only risk right now is not buying Bitcoin, supposedly. Well, from all these other events that's happening right now that are suggesting, hey, I think things are about to go into parabolic mode, because $118 billion VanEck CEO predicts Bitcoin will go to 150k to 150k ish this cycle.
The Bitcoin will keep to the halving cycle. So we're looking at sort of 150 to 180 this cycle as a price target, and then the next cycle it reaches my target of half the value of gold, so 400,000 plus depending on the price of gold.
Look at that, guys, right? Then we have Cardano founder. It says, it is my belief that Bitcoin will head to 250k to 500k within 12 to 24 months. So we're seeing a lot of different price points that people are suggesting, but it seems like it's obviously above 100k. Let's listen to this. Okay.
As good as Ethereum can be, and Solana can be, and Cardano can be, let's be intellectually honest about this. Governments are talking about a strategic reserve of Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone. It's their entry point. And perhaps in 5 or 10 or 15.
Doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin alone. Why? because when the liquidity is bonded to every coin, when Bitcoin goes higher, every other coin will too. Okay, guys, this isn't financial advice, but this is why we need to be bullish on Bitcoin, right? Because then that's bullish on altcoins. It's all connected together, guys. The whole industry is.
In years, that dialogue and narrative will change, but it is my belief that Bitcoin is going to go to $250,000 to $500,000 within the next 12 to 24 months because of
That's insane, guys. Right? I was thinking 300K by this cycle. 300K this cycle. If it literally comes into fruition, I'm going to faint, because we have a timestamp, a time frame of 12 to 24 months. Okay, I'm thinking more so maybe like, I don't know, 15 months from now, right? We shall hopefully be in the 300K range for Bitcoin's price, right? And if Bitcoin is at 300K, well, Ethereum probably 30K, right? Definitely up there. And XRP, I really want to see $90. I think it's quite possible indeed if we see Bitcoin go to these crazy valuations, right? So things are looking very beautiful, guys. Again, we're not pulling these numbers out of our hat, because it's due to a Bitcoin reserve, right? Strategic reserve.
because of the investment inflows and the great interest that has been achieved. This will translate to an ecosystem whose value is starting to approach that of gold, an asset humans have used as a store of value for over 5,000 years. Simply put, Bitcoin is the store of value for the internet, and it will remain in that role for the foreseeable future now that it has a DeFi layer. As good as
Look at that, guys. Then we have another confluence point. Galaxy Digital CEO says Bitcoin is going to $500,000, right? What?
Crypto here, and I want to talk about the possibility of a Bitcoin strategic reserve. You think about this rally that we're seeing in Bitcoin, which is one of the purest supply and demand markets, and one of the reasons I keep hearing is that there's a lot of optimism that we could see the United States government buy up to $1 million worth of Bitcoin. Now that you do have all these crypto advocates in Congress, are you confident that we could see something like that?
I still think it's a low probability, right? You know how Congress works. The House gets excited, or the executive gets excited, and the Senate says, calm down. Right? That's the role of the Senate. And while the Republicans control the Senate, they don't have 60 seats. They don't have close to 60. And so, listen, I think it would be very smart for the United States to take the Bitcoin they have and maybe add some to it and say, we want to show the world that we're going to be a technology-first country, a crypto digital asset-first country. I don't necessarily think the dollar needs anything to back it up. We have the strongest military in the world. We have the dominant economy in the world. To back up the reserve currency is counterintuitive. And so, again, listen, if we get the Bitcoin reserve, and as a guy that owns a lot of Bitcoin, I will not cry. And if you see me crying, there'll be crocodile tears. I think Bitcoin heads to 500,000. Again, it's a whole different paradigm because it forces every other country in. Countries are already buying it. I've got a dear friend, the guy that actually turned me on to Bitcoin in 2013, who's in the Mideast right now, and he said he's never seen anything like it. He's convincing more people to buy Bitcoin in the 3 days he's been there than any time in his whole career. And they're huge pools of capital. And so we're seeing something globally. When Trump advocated in Nashville that he was going to be a crypto president, a Bitcoin president, and now he's the president, let me tell you, other leaders heard that.
Exactly, guys, right? It's like a domino effect. I told you guys, right? So things are looking very beautiful right now. And all these people are suggesting higher we go. Billionaire and Pantera Capital CEO says Bitcoin is going to 745K. What? Guys, is it even possible? Yes. Honestly, let me just give my honest opinion. It is possible. The reason being is because if governments are buying, guys, they have infinite money. Okay? The formula says they could manipulate the price to go as high as possible. The question is, will they have Bitcoin as a strategic reserve? If they do, we go higher. If they don't, we still go higher, but not to a larger degree. Play.
You bet your life it's not going to zero?
I used to tell people it could definitely go to zero to try and be, conservative. I don't think it's possible now. 50 million people in the U.S. own it, 300 million people globally. BlackRock and Fidelity are selling it. Like it really has reached escape velocity.
But you're 745,000. I mean, I heard 13 million from Michael Saylor.
Yup, 13 million. This is insane. And then I have Kathy Wood, $1 million. I don't know, guys. It seems like everyone has their own different price points. Minus 300K this cycle. If I see higher, amazing. If I see lower, still good, because all we need to see is Bitcoin above 100K, so all season gets triggered.
The other day.
I think it can go, it's going up 3 orders of magnitude since we launched our fund. I think it could go up a fourth. And that puts it at 15 trillion market cap, which it still seems relatively small versus 500 trillion of financial assets.
$15 trillion in market cap. Okay, that they're suggesting that Bitcoin will reach. Guess what? XRP surpassed Bitcoin. That would mean XRP in the hundreds of dollars, if that were the case. XRP at $90, if I'm not mistaken, is about 5 trillion. Okay, in market cap. So easy. I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying.
That's doable. You bet your life.
So, come on, guys. Then we got the former CFTC chair says UNAC's Bitcoin reserve makes a lot of sense. Bitcoin is the world's first digital commodity. They're not playing around, guys. When they jump in, they go in quickly to leave as many people as behind as possible.
Yeah, one of the states that are thinking about putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. What do you make about states putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet?
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. So Trump proposed a Bitcoin stockpile, as you know, not a reserve, but a stockpile. It's a subtle difference. Countries have been stockpiling commodities since the dawn of time. We stockpile oil. We used to stockpile gold. China stockpiles rebar and copper and soybeans. Countries stockpile precious commodities as the world's first digital commodity.
Do they have the financial wherewithal, though, to manage that on a balance sheet?
I'd have to look into Pennsylvania's wherewithal, but I do think it makes sense. I think it makes sense for the United States. I think it's a very forward-looking idea.
You know, are you worried that the speculation in the coin has outpaced the technology of the blockchain? Because the blockchain is the transformational technology, right? The coin is the facilitator. It's like the juice that goes through the system, but you need a system. The system, I still haven't bought a slice of pizza with Bitcoin yet, or I don't know any. But, I mean, what's going on?
Charlie, you and I are the same vintage. We're old enough to remember the dot-com bubble. And in the dot-com bubble, prices got ahead of the underlying technology. It wasn't that people didn't want to engage in e-commerce. They didn't want to do it using dial-up modems, and they didn't want to do it putting their credit card information to a dodgy website. It took.
The simple thing here is Bitcoin, the narrative here is Bitcoin is basically a store of value, right? It doesn't really need the technology. It already has it. That's the narrative I would use, guys, right? And then you got inflation going rampant. So then you want to hedge against inflation, you buy Bitcoin, right? As of right now. One day I do believe Bitcoin will go down, but let's not talk about that right now.
The arrival of 4G and 5G technology, took the arrival of PayPal and other utilities, took the arrival of Amazon delivery to make e-commerce a reality. The price always gets ahead of the underlying technology, but then the underlying technology catches up.
We are totally out of time, but we love having you. Thank you both, Charlie Gasparino and Chris Giancarlo. Thank you, thank you.
I mean, come on, guys. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. Speculation grows about countries preemptively building Bitcoin reserves ahead of the forthcoming Trump administration, right? Look at that. So things are looking splendid in my opinion. I quickly want to mention, well, we're not going to top out here, guys, right? The range was too much. We're going to go higher. Crypto Rover's price prediction for this bull cycle is 280K per Bitcoin. Possible? 100%. I believe so. Buy the dump on Thanksgiving, sell the pumps on Christmas. It's a Santa rally, right? Look at this. Thanksgiving 2024, Thanksgiving 2017. Right after it, we exploded in price. Are we about to do the same thing again? Right? Look at this. Thanksgiving week dump. Hopefully, it seems like we have recovered. Right? We're about to pump. So there we go, guys. A lot of good things are on the horizon here. Let's see what happens next. I'm truly excited because it's coming. But anyways, that's what face Macy's. See ya.